What is going on, everybody? My name is Jimmy Scalia, and you guys are watching the Third Floor Lounge podcast. And we got a great show in store today. Before we get to that, just want to remind everybody to subscribe, hit that notification bell on the HSP podcast. You can find it on YouTube, Instagram, the High Spot podcast. Guys, we got great content coming out all the time. Just like this episode that we have today, that we're going to recap a little more free agency. I know there's a lot of March Madness going on. Trust me, I have it on in the background right now. But we still got to recap a lot of free agency moves that happen. Of course, with me is my co-host, Bill Hooper. Bill, how's it going?
It's going well.
And our special guest, Ryan Luna, a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan, who's got a lot to say today. Ryan, how's it going?
Oh, man, a lot to say.
All right, so first, before we get into some Steelers stuff, we do want to talk about, Bill, you spoke it into existence. Kenny Golladay, he lands with the Giants, a 4-year, $72 million deal. How you feeling now that this receiving core is finally set?
Yeah, this is just ultimately great for Daniel Jones because, he has to prove himself. He hasn't really proven himself that he's the future of the Giants franchise. He needs that big-name wide receiver, that guy that he can truly trust, truly throw to on those important downs, and now he gets that guy, and he'll have a full swath of weapons around him, and he'll finally be able to, really show his talents. And if he doesn't perform, if he isn't, throwing a lot of touchdowns by Thanksgiving, there's reason to move on. So this guy is just a symbol for Danny, proving that, we gave you your guy. If you don't perform, we're moving on.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, look, this whole offense, not even just with the Kenny Golladay signing, also not on the household name, Kyle Rudolph's there, good red zone threat. But the thing is now, it's now you don't have the excuse that you don't have a tight end that can't catch, because Rudolph obviously can do that well. He can block well. Saquon's coming back. Like you just said, it's done. This is the year he needs to break out. And he doesn't need to have a good year. He needs to have a great year. He needs to throw at least 30 touchdowns in my mind. Ryan, even though you're a Steelers fan, obviously you know a bunch of this Daniel Jones and Giants talk going on living in New Jersey. What do you think about him, what they're doing now?
I mean, I really liked him his rookie year. And then last year, he just seemed to take 8 steps back, in my opinion. I mean, it was rough. He looked terrible. I mean, I know he didn't have Saquon, but I think, he doesn't have excuses anymore. Golladay, Slayton could be a number 2 now. He's not going to get that safety over the top anymore. Slayton had a great rookie year. I really liked him a lot. So, Golladay, Slayton, Shepard, Ingram's still going to be there, right? They picked up his 5th-year option. So, they got to fix the O-line. But I think this is Jones' last shot to show he's worth the pick and he's their guy. This is it.
Yeah, definitely.
This is definitely his last shot, in my opinion.
And Bill, what were some of the games last year you were like, all right, he's becoming a problem now? At what point of the season?
Okay, so there was the Buccaneers game. That game, the Giants won that game. If any other quarterback in the league was if
they
you had
Teddy Bridgewater Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football. And that was a big game against the eventual Super Bowl champs. The Giants defense played so well. Their offense, their offense played well enough. Gallman had a good game, but Daniel Jones just threw it away. He had a fumble, I think, in the third quarter or something. He threw an interception. They should have won that game, but he threw it away. And those mistakes can't happen, going into this year. Those mistakes will happen sometimes, but he's also got to make them win. A lot of the times, because he was our quarterback, the Giants quarterback, the Giants lost because he was the quarterback. If you had a guy like Teddy Bridgewater who wasn't going to win you or lose your game, you might win, but the mistakes are a problem, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. As we know, the turnovers are excessive. I guess he takes over Eli in that role, but it's you also want to develop the clutch gene, too, with that as well. Moving on, too, don't forget, today, the Giants signed Adoree Jackson, 3 years, $39 million. That was a heavy recruiting effort. You got Logan Ryan flying in from Florida. You got guys taking him out to dinner. Jabril Peppers took him out to dinner. major effort. Ryan, were you impressed at all with Adoree Jackson signing though?
No, I don't think he's that good. I mean,
there we go. We got a nice counterpoint going on here.
He's good, but he's not worth 39. He played 3 games last year.
Yeah.
And 11.
Wait, he only played 3 games?
3 games last year, 11 the year before, and he has 2 career picks. Well, if you look up his stats on Football Reference, the first thing that comes up are punt returns. You got to go down to the bottom to click on his defensive stats. That tells you something.
It might be an overpay. I agree it's an overpay, but I think it's good for the Giants because just put everything around Jones. Just try to win. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's good for the culture too because it shows Joe Judge, like guys want to come here. You know, Adoree Jackson has offers from other teams, the Eagles, for example, and like he chose here, and it shows that people want to come here. Like players want to come to the New York Giants despite not making the playoffs for 4 years, despite having all these losing seasons. There's definitely been a culture shift in New York.
Yeah, I think Judge is the man. I like Judge a lot. So it's hard to turn that guy down, I think.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely Gettleman's best stroke of genius I've seen, which we haven't seen too many, in my opinion. But, yeah, I mean, getting Judge in, like you said, like we said about the Cardinals before, it's just exciting to see players want to go to your franchise, not only just for the payday, but obviously to play football and build relationships beyond that. And kind of that's what, you know, Judge is building. I think they should just give him the keys, you know, to everything, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to rebuild the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have – who's their leader? Who's their leader, the Giants' leader, would you say? Leonard Williams?
I mean –
no.
If we're talking players, I don't really know. It's a lot of young guys, you know.
Maybe Jabril.
Yeah, Jabril.
Maybe
supposedly he was recruiting Adoree. Like he took him out to dinner and stuff. Yep. So like that is, I'd say he is a big leader in that organization.
And he was with Golladay too. He went out to dinner with Golladay too.
True. He recruited both of those guys. Yeah. So I mean, that's like. Yeah, he is a big part of the organization, not just on the field, you know. But like, we need some guys to lead the Giants because when Eli left, there was a big hole to fill for who was gonna actually be like the guy that all the players in the locker room looked up to, you know.
Logan Ryan, he's a vet, respected. And
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
No, definitely, and like, this is what they're trying to build right now, trying to build this different culture and. Obviously, that goes all the way up to John Mara, who hasn't had the best decisions recently. But to switch over to the next subject, the Maras are also good friends with the Rooney family. Don't forget, these are 2 of the original franchises in NFL history. And why don't we just jump into some Steelers talk right now?
Oh man, all right.
JuJu Smith-Schuster, he had a deal with the Kansas City Chiefs on the table. He had a deal with the Baltimore Ravens.
It's all a fabrication.
And then he said, no, I'm coming home to Pittsburgh, my hometown, the blue hair rocking it, signing the contract. Ryan, your immediate reaction to that move?
Disgusted. Just a senseless, no logic behind the move that they made. I mean, it's really made me aggravated. I mean,
like you said before, it's something that's interesting. Like Hines Ward, Mike Wallace, Antonio Holmes, Antonio Brown, all these guys get drafted by the Steelers. They don't sign there long term.
The only 2 receivers that get second contracts are AB and Hines Ward, and JuJu can't sniff what they can do.
I personally think JuJu, I think it's still a decent signing, you know. I know you're going to disagree, but
here we go.
Listen to this. JuJu in his first 2 years was a very talented wide receiver.
With AB across.
With AB across, true. But you could really see the talent, and you have to like actually compare. You have to compare the quarterback play with both those in both the next 2 years. He had like 3 really backup quarterbacks with Big Ben hurt, and then last year's Big Ben, you know, he played well for much of the year, but a lot of it was like short dink and dunk.
Yeah,
like
and I think that was more. I think that was more the scheme too. You know, they changed their coordinators. Maybe they make him run more than 5-yard routes.
That's part of it. Big Ben just wasn't effective enough. What do you think of Big Ben? What did you think he did?
I think Big Ben got hurt against the Cowboys and never got it treated. And right after that is when you saw his play decline. So
what do you think? What do you think of them re-signing him this year? Like, what do you think is going to be?
I think it's their best option to be as competitive as possible. Who are you going to play? Rudolph? Draft somebody in the mid-round?
I can't do Rudolph.
Bring Ben back and hope you fix your O-line, get a running game. I mean, if they get a running game, they just won 12 games. So,
yeah.
But they just lost.
You're right. You're right. You win 12 games.
Yeah. I mean, they just lost 5 starters on D.
Mm-hmm.
They lost 4, and then they're willingly letting Steven Nelson seek a trade so they can bring back their slot receiver.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of – obviously, look, we didn't say it, but JuJu was a big story at the end of the year against the Bengals, dancing on the logo, then getting knocked out, and a lot of things like that. So, look, there's a lot of blue-collar fans in Pittsburgh that are like, what the hell is this guy? They thought they'd seen the last one. After that playoff game, dancing in between, like, plays when they're getting smoked by the Browns. Like, what were you thinking at that point?
I mean, at that point, I was done with JuJu for like 5 weeks, so I was just not surprised by what he was doing.
What was the moment you were like, all right, like, this guy's too much now?
Oh, God. I mean, I guess this year, I didn't really pay attention to it, you know? Because he was a rookie. I was all right, he's a rookie. Like, when he lost his bicycle and he went to college in a Steelers uniform, like, that's all for attention. Who knows if he even really lost his bike? He probably just wanted to get attention.
Trick-or-treating. I seen him in the uniform and stuff. I don't think he's like a bad dude.
He's not a bad dude. He's just
But I agree that winning – I don't know if winning is like the top thing on his mind.
No, it's not.
He worries about his brand too much. It's kind of like OBJ in a way. Like,
all right, let's relax here.
Guys that worry about their brand a little too much. You know, spend a little too much time on social media, doing these dances, trying to get those younger fans.
Stop. Don't talk shit about Odell. Dude, Odell literally goes hard every practice, bro. You can't, like, he doesn't care about his brand to JuJu's extent.
Okay, so there's no comparisons between JuJu and OBJ? No comparison whatsoever?
What comparison is there? Dude, OBJ always leaves it all out on the field, dude. Like,
Odell posts pictures on Instagram with Drake quotes. JuJu posts dancing.
So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
No, he's agreeing with you. He's agreeing.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. I was mad.
Saying that Odell.
I disagree with both of you. I think they're similar because
you're being an asshole. That's why.
You're telling me that OBJ isn't obsessed with his brand or wasn't for many years?
Look, there is like you could be like flashy and also be a team player at the same time. Like both those things, like I feel like people don't understand that those could coexist. I think those can coexist. Now, he definitely built a brand a little bit after the catch, the hair. Look, I get it, but the NFL also came to him and marketed the shit out of him too.
Oh yeah.
So like,
that's
and
true.
They did the same thing with JuJu.
Yeah. I mean, the JuJu thing, like the dances on the logo were kind of dumb, but like similar to OBJ, like kicking the net, like those are two things that distract from the team. You know,
I can see the net thing. The net thing was ridiculous.
I mean,
that was a little nuts.
But like the first time he hit the net, it was literally just out of frustration. Like that, like I've never seen JuJu on the sideline like that passionate about like wanting to win or something.
He don't give a damn.
Okay. He doesn't give a shit. Like Odell is literally like Odell has that like, and you're gonna make fun of it, but like he has that Brady like freaking out on the sidelines because he wants to fucking win. Like
don't give a damn.
I don't think him and JuJu are comparable.
Chase Claypool was asked in an interview what JuJu, the supposed leader in the locker room, has helped him with during his rookie season the most. And Claypool said literally in a real post-game interview that the biggest thing it's helped him with is building a social media brand. Straight face, like it's a real quote.
That's funny.
That's what JuJu influences. He doesn't help with anything. He don't give a damn.
No, that's not good. That's not good with Claypool. When they lost to the Browns, and Claypool is like on Instagram, and he's saying like, "Oh, well, the Browns are gonna get smacked the next week, dude." That's like what middle schoolers say.
He's another one I don't like either.
Terrible look.
That's true.
Terrible.
Right here.
That's the dude. Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay,
I like Deontay Johnson a lot.
Yeah.
But his drops have been an issue.
Yeah, I have.
What do you think of that? What do you think of his like drop issue? Like he's talented. He can make people miss, but you know.
I mean, there's a reason why Ben targeted him 145 times in 13 games. He missed 3 games. 145 targets in 13 games. I mean, that shows that he's talented. I don't think he's used to that high volume. You know, he'll be better from it. I think you can see he's got all the talent in the world.
Yeah,
he's all business too. He's like the only Steelers player that didn't post that JuJu was coming back on Instagram. Probably hates his guts. Look at this fucking child.
Wow, that's funny.
No, Deontay, I am a big fan of him. And it was really great to see him this year with a core, like, you know, those early games with Ben, he was killing it.
Like, I like to compare him to Davante Adams. If you look at Davante Adams' first couple of years in the league, he led the league in drops. His first 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he had like 15 or 16 drops in Deontay.
2015, it was awful. He only had 1 touchdown in 2015.
So that's kind of like my player comp with Deontay. I think he could be that good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
reliable.
He has the talent.
Yeah.
It's
He
just
has
the
the
hands.
talent. Like his separation is insane.
They just got to stop throwing him 5-yard slants because he's not going to take hits over the middle. That's why he drops the passes.
I know.
If you look at all his drops, they're all quick slants.
Yeah, the Steelers need a new quarterback. I know Ben is their best option.
Yeah.
But what's the ceiling with Ben? A Super Bowl win, I don't think it's a ceiling.
The ceiling this coming year, I would say 10-7 in a first-round bounce. I don't. And it's not even just because of Ben. Their line stinks. They have no running game. You know,
Villanueva's not going to be there.
We lost 5 starters on D. You know, it's a very young offense.
So then what's the future? What's the future for the Steelers? Like, who will be their future quarterback? There's no options, right?
Rudolph's gonna be the guy. I'm telling you.
Rudolph.
He's gonna be like a bridge.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, it'll be a bridge. But that's the thing. If the Steelers, because the Steelers is such a solid organization, like they draft well.
Yeah.
You know, they win a lot. So even if they have a bad quarterback, they won't get that high draft pick to get their future quarterback.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And they've only had 2 good quarterbacks in their franchise history. From before Bradshaw and Ben, there's a big gap in between there. They were not very good.
Yeah.
You know?
Whoa. What about Maddox? Maddox was a beast.
He had like 1 good year.
Playoff berths.
I think he went 10-6 one year. But they had.
I'm fucking around.
My dad likes Ty Maddox a little bit.
Yeah, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
He played with Plaxico and stuff.
Yeah, I mean Ben came in week 3. See you, Tom.
Yeah. That's all she wrote there. And also, actually, you know, one thing me and Ryan actually talked, we talked over the course of the season and the off season. Something that's been really interesting. Mike Tomlin, like these last couple of playoff appearances, has been a disaster.
You want to hear how many points he's given up in the last 3? Take a guess.
Sure.
It's got to be over 100. Obviously, over 100.
The Patriots, the Jags, and the Browns. Guess how many points?
I'm gonna go
103.
How much?
Go like 110.
103. That's my guess.
132.
Yeah. Wait. So what's that averaging? How many points is that a game then?
That is
43.
43, right?
43.
Oh my lord!
Is it?
Yeah. Or 44.
Something
I think
like that.
43 or 44, around there.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
So your offense
That
needs
is
to
insane.
score at least like 7 touchdowns to win.
And you can say, "Oh, the offense put him in a bad position," but
that's
still,
not fully the case.
No, you know, I mean, I guess they spotted the Browns 14 because of the snap over the head.
That was pretty funny. I can't lie.
As soon as that happened, I was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be a long time."
Like what the fuck? To start the game.
And yeah, it was time for Pouncey to go.
What I personally think about Tomlin is like he's still one of the best coaches in the league. Like
they win.
One of the best coaches. Like he's been a long-term coach with the Steelers, and like he's still a great coach. For some reason, he's just struggled in the playoffs lately. Like the Steelers have not been good in the playoffs for so long. It's been so long.
They haven't been good in the playoffs since Cowher's defensive players left. Tomlin hasn't been able to rebuild the defense in 7-8 years.
But that's the thing. They always make the playoffs, but they just never win in the playoffs, and that is a big problem.
And everybody praises Tomlin. Oh, he's never had a losing season. Take Ben away from him. He'd be 4-12, 5-11.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he should have been fired after the Jags loss, in my opinion. Ever since then,
it's just like they're not prepared. They weren't prepared well at all for the Jacksonville game. Like Jacksonville, they played them earlier that season. They lost. Okay, you kind of know. Like, look, and Jacksonville, they were a hungry team. Obviously, coming into that situation.
Yeah, same thing with Cleveland. Give them a chance.
Yeah, and same thing with Cleveland. Like, you got these hungry teams coming in. Like, dude, these are the games where you're like, there's expectations for us. We have to meet those expectations. We can't downplay these games at all. And they've just been disasters. And they're both home games. They're both home playoff losses.
And you got JuJu saying the Browns is the Browns the day before the game.
Like the day before.
That is that just should not be.
That just put the icing on the cake of JuJu.
As soon as you saw that, you definitely had a bad feeling.
Oh, I did. I'm pretty sure I told you that they were going to lose that game.
Yeah. I remember when you said that quote, and like, it's easy bulletin board material. It's just easy. Like,
I mean, it was 28-0 before you could even blink.
It was like insane. Jarvis Landry's like taking a slant to the end zone.
It was 21-0 in the Jags game like that. I mean, it was just like the same game.
Yeah.
You're at home, and you're playing like that. Like, it's just. The coaching was bad. The play, like, it was just
really,
embarrassing.
really bad. It's because he rested his players the week before. It doesn't work. For them, at least. Not for Ben. His whole career, he's always struggled when he has rest. But I guess Tomlin didn't learn that in 15 years.
All right, listen. Here, I have a question. When the Steelers were 11-0, like, how confident were you in the team?
I lost my confidence after the Cowboy game. I knew they were gonna spiral down. I think when they lost, what was the first loss they had? The Washington, right?
Washington, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I told my dad they weren't going to win a game the rest of the year besides the Bengals game. They did win one of their last 6, but they lost to the Bengals and beat the Colts when they were down 28-7 or something like that, whatever it was. Yeah. I knew they were.
I personally think they're probably the worst 11-0 team in history. Like,
yeah.
They had a bunch of close wins. Like, they were a good team.
Yep.
But 11-0 did not signify how good they were or how bad they were, I should say.
Once defenses figured out their short passing game, they don't make adjustments. Tomlin has never made adjustments. He just plays his way. He doesn't make game adjustments. He's not an X and O guy. Just go play, you know.
There was no running game whatsoever. Literally no running game.
No running game.
Steelers,
they gave up.
That was a big thing.
I mean, they had 100 yards rushing in 4 of their first 5 games.
Yeah.
And then they gave up. It's also on Ben, though, because Ben just wants to throw it. He just wants to.
True.
Like, I heard that, like, he gets run-pass options, and he never calls a run play. He just – and I believe it.
Really?
Yeah.
I 100% believe that. 100%.
Yeah. I love Ben, but he definitely wants to be in control.
Yeah.
He does.
Definitely. You know? I don't mean to come to this abrupt halt, but we're probably going to come to a close here on the video. So with that being said, what's it looking like for next year? You know, what if the first game, all of a sudden you just see, wow, NFL record, JuJu Smith, his 6 touchdown reception.
Oh my God!
Like, what are you gonna feel like? Or even a playoff game.
If that happens, I'll get a JuJu tattoo on my forehead.
It's on video. This is on video, everybody.
That's how much confident that won't happen.
I just wanted to get
They have a lot of needs, man. The draft, I don't know. They have a lot of needs.
There's not a lot of optimism, I think, for the Steelers going forward.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm thinking like 7-10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so for sure.
5 starters on D, no linemen, no running game, 40-year-old quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless they change their scheme completely and they draft Najee Harris or ETN or Javonte Williams, who's my favorite back in the draft. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, they got a lot of holes. And they're in a tough division now with
Their
Cleveland.
schedule is brutal.
Yeah.
They have the hardest schedule in the league. That's actually
very tough division now.
Yeah, I like Cleveland to win a division.
Yeah, I think Baltimore. I got Baltimore going 8-8.
Oh,
wow,
for sure.
that's cool.
Yeah,
definitely. I got Baltimore going 8-8.
Yeah, but all right, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed the Steelers episode. Ryan, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah,
really
definitely.
appreciated it. Bill, obviously, my co-host Bill, coming on too. And guys, we'll catch you soon. Another episode. Obviously, the second wave of free agency. Don't forget the draft is coming up soon. And we have not done an NBA. We need to do an NBA episode soon because obviously there's a lot to talk about there. Harden for MVP. That's what I need.
For sure.
With that being said, that's definitely happening. With that being said, guys, we're gonna take care. So long, and guys, don't forget follow HSP Network, the HSP Podcast, subscribe, and take care for now, everybody.